देखिए, we were discussing the Specific Relief Act and reliefs thereunder. We talked of general reliefs. Out of these general reliefs, some reliefs have been provided under the Specific Relief Act. Therefore, they are called the specific reliefs. So, reliefs under Specific Relief Act are specific reliefs. What were those specific reliefs? Number one, restoration of the property, movable or immovable. So, protection of law against illegal dispositions, and not only the protection but the speedy remedy, and so recovery if any person has been deprived of his property, possession of the property, whether movable or immovable, he with the help of this Specific Relief Act can get back the lost property. So first remedy, first relief which has been made specific by the Specific Relief Act is the recovery of the possession of the property, movable or immovable. What you are recovering? You are just recovering the possession. Even if you have recovered the possession of the property, you have not acquired any title. So, mere restoration of the property to the person from whose possession it was illegally, he was illegally deprived of his possession, will not amount to conferring any right title on such person. So, what this law protects or provides is just the rights relating to the possession of the property, and if it has been right to possession has been disturbed, restoring back the possession of the property to such person who has been deprived of its possession illegally. So first specific relief is in nature of recovery of the property. It is chapter 1. Second, specific performance in nature which are specific are with in relation to the contracts. Contractual liabilities, how contractual liabilities can be enforced, who can get the enforcement, under what circumstances the specific performance cannot be done, under what circumstances a specific performance can be done. All the aspects relating to the contractual act, contract act, have been dealt with in chapter 2 of the Specific Relief Act. And rescission of the contract, when a party rescinds the contract, what are the rights of the party rescinding, how these rights can be enforced, what are the liabilities of the person or parties under a rescinded contract, and how those liabilities can be enforced. All these issues have been taken care of under chapter 3rd. So chapter 2 and 3 deal with the contracts. So second remedy, specific relief, would be relating to the contract, specific performance of the contracts. Third remedy is the rectification of the instrument, chapter 3. As I told, due to inadvertence, some mistake is committed in execution while a document was executed. So, one party wants correction, other party does not want it to be corrected. So, if he goes under section 9 of the CPC, it will take long time. So, in such type of the cases, this Specific Relief Act also provides a quick remedy for the rectification of the document, where any mistake should be rectified. If parties are not agreed, are at difference, or in collusion, or not in collusion, or are in conflict, then a party who wants rectification may approach to the court, and rectification deed can be executed by the court. So in this way, document can be rectified and inadvertent mistake can be corrected. So this is the third type of the specific relief. Fourth category of the specific relief is the cancellation of the instruments. If mistake has been committed, some mistake has to be corrected, then the rectification deed. If a document itself is void or voidable or has been made under the circumstances where consent is not freely given, as we see it, that it's a voidable contract. So where document is required to be cancelled, or there may be cases where affected party is not the party to the instrument. Suppose a property belongs to A. Mr. X and Mr. Y in collusion executes a sale deed by saying X says that it is my property and I deliver it, sell it to you, and a fictitious transaction is executed and a sale deed is executed. Then A is not the party to the deed, but A is the aggrieved party. If that document remains in existence, it may create trouble and further complication, and it has created a doubt on the title of such person. So here aggrieved person would be Mr. A. So Mr. A can move to the court for cancellation of such instrument. Sometimes instrument may be agreed, was the lease agreement or the mortgage deed, but defendant cleverly got executed a sale deed in lieu of a mortgage deed. What is the remedy? The person can approach the court to get the deed, sale deed, cancelled on the ground that I never intended to execute a sale deed, but under these circumstances the other party has got executed the sale deed in place of a mortgage deed. So different situations can arise where the cancellation of the document becomes necessary. So it is again specific relief. Specific relief. Why specific relief? As I told, two reasons. Reliefs are specific in nature, number one. Number two, The reliefs have been provided by the Specific Relief Act. So these are the specific reliefs. So cancellation of the instrument has been dealt in chapter 5th. Another specific relief was the declaratory decrees. I told you where a person has a legal status or a legal right, but anybody is denying his legal status or the right, he may approach the court to get his status, legal status or legal right declared in his favor. Suppose A has a piece of land and B, C, D are denying that you are not the owner in possession of the land. A has derived his title from his forefathers. So what A can do, A can approach the court to get a declaration that he is the owner in possession of the property. But there is one restriction, कि mere declaration cannot be granted. Why mere declaration not granted? If he is the owner, B has just said that you are not the owner. In these circumstances, a suit will be instituted and litigation will be increased. Everybody may deny everybody's title, oral denial, written denial. Everybody may say you are not the son of your father. What does it mean? Mere only the uttering of these simple words. Should there any need for institution of the suit and declaration by a court of law? That's why the Specific Relief Act provided a restriction on the declaratory decrees. Okay, declaratory decree will not be granted unless a specific relief in nature of an injunction has been claimed. So two things would be necessary for declaratory decree. Number one, the cause of action must have arisen, basic bare need, and declaration regarding his legal status of his right, and a consequential relief. The proper word used under declaratory decree is that the declaratory decree will not be granted in the favor of the plaintiff unless plaintiff seeks a consequential relief. So mere declaration, you must note it down that a mere declaration is not possible. What can be granted? Declaration can be granted along with some consequential relief. What would be the consequential relief? It may be declared that this property is mine. Number 1. Number 2, what would be the consequential relief? Defendant be restrained from denying my title, or defendant be restrained from interfering in my title, possession, enjoyment. So, law supposes for what you need such declaration. So, what is your need? You must seek a relief to fulfill that need, so as to make the court know that what was the dire need for seeking a declaration. So this is the another specific relief of specific nature. And last one is the injunctions. Injunctions perpetual injunctions, because injunctions are of two types. As I told you, a perpetual injunction needed forever, and an injunction for a time being. So during the pendency of the suit, when injunction is sought, it is a temporary injunction, and temporary injunctions are governed by CPC. Order 39 of the CPC governs or regulates the grant or non-grant of the temporary injunctions. But a final injunction, a perpetual injunction, can only be granted under the Specific Relief Act. So, in injunctions, there is no need to be get confused. You must be clear in your minds that perpetual injunctions are granted. When the perpetual injunction can be granted? After final hearing of the suit. And a temporary injunction can be granted at the beginning of the suit or during the pendency of the suit, and it comes to an end at the time of passing a final decree. But a perpetual injunction, if granted, becomes operative as on the date of the passing decree or the judgment, and it will work for future. But if a perpetual injunction has not been claimed or sought, then no temporary injunction can be granted. The scope of temporary injunctions is different. Sometimes you need to preserve the subject matter of the property. Sometimes you need to